Why do we cry when we are born? Is it because we were just given life? Or is it because we just don't know anything? Or is it because we already know too much? When we enter this world, we know that women everywhere are being discriminated against. Margaret Atwood's The Penelopiad is a representation of how women are discriminated against and are objectified by men. The Penelopiad is a book that sees the epic poem The Odyssey from Penelope's point of view, rather than from her husband, Odysseus' point of view. Odysseus wins Penelope through competition and brings her back to his island of Ithaca. Helen, Penelope's sister, gets kidnapped and Odysseus has to help save her from the Trojans. Penelope is left on the island of Ithaca for 10 years by herself to rule, and the Penelopiad explains what happens on Ithaca with the absence of Odysseus. In the Penelopiad, women are not fully portrayed as equals to men. They are heavily objectified by men from the very start of the book. When Penelope is talking about the competition over her, she mentions how Odysseus is only doing it for the money and status, and that she was only the second prize because he, like all the other men, wanted Helen over herself. Here's a quote that Penelope gives explaining this. She, as in Helen, gave the patronizing smirk of someone who's had first chance at a less than delicious piece of sausage, but has fastidiously rejected it. Indeed, Odysseus had been among the suitors for her hand, and like every other man on earth, he desperately wanted to win her. Now he was competing for what was, at best, only second prize. Penelope is shown as intelligent, as she understands that the men in the competition only saw her as a prize to begin with, rather than actually having feelings for her. There are many points throughout the book where Penelope points out these issues of objectification, such as with the suitors. In many epic poems, women often serve a very small role compared to their leading male counterparts. In the Odyssey, the only important role women play is how the story begins and ends, and triggers the events throughout the story. Odysseus leaves to rescue a woman, and then ends by needing to return to a woman. Besides that, women played a very small role in the story. In the Penelopiad, women are seen with a larger role than the one given in the Odyssey. Penelope is seen with the job of maintaining the island by herself while her husband is away, and stays loyal to her husband as well. The maids also play a huge role in the plot of the book, which would never have been fully recognized in the Odyssey. Despite wanting equality to men, some women put each other down by using the same sexist remarks and thoughts that men use. Helen says, "They say he's very clever, and you're very clever too, they tell me. So you'll be able to understand what he says. I certainly never could. It was lucky for the both of us that he didn't win me." By saying this, Helen is insulting not only herself, but the identity that women bear, and confirms the fact that they are seen as objects. With this kind of behavior, which can sometimes be seen today, I believe that it is hard to see a perfect future where both genders are equal.